Embarking on her journey to the planetary camp, Ari Spring falls victim to a theft at the spaceport, but a quick-witted classmate, Kanata Hoshijima, thwarts the thief's attempt. The caravan of 9 students from Carried High School touches down on planet MCPA for their scheduled camp. However, their arrival is marred by the sudden manifestation of a mysterious sphere that engulfs them, leaving them stranded in the vastness of space. Spotting an abandoned spaceship, the group, excluding Ares, boards it. Faced with the peril of dwindling fuel and the possibility of being lost in the cosmic abyss, Kanata ventures out to rescue Ari. Exhausting his own fuel, the rest of the students unite in a human ladder to ensure the safe return of both Ari and Kanata. Safely aboard the spaceship, the students share their introductions, and Zach Walker unveils the shocking truth that the sphere has catapulted them 5,012 light-years away from their home. Despite growing paranoia, Kanata injects a dose of hope by recounting his survival tale from a hiking expedition where his teacher met a tragic end. Zach, leveraging his expertise, identifies potential resupply planets. The group, casting their votes, elects Kanata as the captain, christening the spacecraft Astra, in homage to a phrase they discovered within. Their journey leads them to the first resupply planet, Villiverse, where they encounter bizarre wildlife such as parachute plants and trampoline trees. Navigating the unfamiliar terrain, they manage to evade the ever-present mysterious sphere. Kanata, grappling with newfound stress, turns to impulsive eating, while Quiteri, burdened by her affluent yet loveless family background, distances herself from her adopted sister, Phoenicia. As night descends, Phoenicia becomes ensnared by a rising trampoline tree, only to be seized by a winged creature. Employing a javelin left by Lucia, Kanata leaps into action to rescue her. This ordeal prompts Quiteri to mend her differences with Phoenicia, and Kanata unveils his pedigree as a world-class athlete, shaped by the influence of his father. Preparing to depart Villiverse, Zach confides in Kanata, revealing a disturbing truth. Astra's communication systems have been deliberately sabotaged, and the perpetrator is likely among them. Heading to the next resupply point, Shamur, Kanata discreetly attempts to unmask the saboteur but finds himself lacking sufficient information about his fellow travelers. During a conversation, Phoenicia shares a mysterious tale of a man orchestrating her adoption, prompting Kanata to speculate that their lives might be in danger. He issues a cautionary warning to the group about the potential presence of a saboteur within their ranks. Suspicions rise when Ulgar discloses that he is the son of the school's vice principal. However, their investigation takes an abrupt turn when the spaceship is pummeled by micrometeorites, breaching the hull and causing a catastrophic power failure. Astra hurtles uncontrollably towards Shamur's gravity, forcing the group into a frenzied effort to seal breaches and connect the gravity controller to a backup generator. The situation intensifies when the gravity controller's safety mechanism is triggered by a small flying alien creature, compelling Olga to immobilize it with a glue gun. Barely managing to restore power, Zach skillfully lands Astra safely on Shamur. Post-incident, it's revealed that Olga has been harboring a real handgun in secret. Despite their collective efforts to avert the crash, the students come to the realization that the saboteur must also be driven by a desire for survival. Deciding to temporarily halt active investigations, they touch down on Shamur, where they encounter large, amiable bird-like aliens dubbed Grumpies. However, their optimism is short-lived as they discover that most edible plants on Shamur spoil rapidly, rendering them unsuitable for long-term storage. Furthermore, the Grumpies are inedible, leaving the group with a dire shortage of food for the upcoming leg of their journey. In the midst of their interstellar journey, Yoon Hwa makes a heartfelt decision to part ways with the group, urging them to continue without her. Concerned, Kanata ventures out in search of her, uncovering a painful truth about Yoon Hwa's past, her mother's emotional abuse, which has led her to believe that avoiding attention is the best course of action. As they converse, the tranquil planet's serene atmosphere takes a sinister turn when large mushrooms release poisonous spores, infecting all the students except Kanata and Yoon Hwa, who fortuitously wore their spacesuits. Char-Si, the group's knowledgeable member, informs them about an antidote mushroom that can counteract the poison. Recalling a past incident where they fed a sick Grumpy a yellow mushroom that cured it, Kanata and Yoon Hwa embark on a mission to gather the antidote. Meanwhile, Yoon Hwa's soothing singing serves as a calming presence for their afflicted friends. Bolstered by Kanata's encouragement, Yun-hwa finds the strength to pursue her dream of becoming a singer. Kanata returns with the antidote mushrooms, healing his friends and earning gratitude from the group, who credit Yun-hwa's singing for their survival. It is revealed that Yun-hwa is Lucy Lum's daughter, a renowned singer. Symbolizing her personal growth, Yun-hwa decides to cut her hair short. Having found a stable food source on Shimur, the group moves on. However, on Earth, authorities are on the verge of giving up the search for the missing students after an exhaustive effort on MCPA. Aries' mom expresses genuine concern, but the majority of parents are quick to accept the bleak possibility of declaring their children legally dead. The mysterious man in sunglasses, mentioned by Funisha earlier, silently observes the somber discussion. Notably absent is Marco, Lucas's powerful government official father. Back in space, the group lands on the oceanic world of Arispade, discovering it to be a paradise teeming with abundant food. Charcy uncovers a fascinating aspect of the planet. All life reproduces via parthenogenesis. Koteri playfully teases Aries about her feelings for Kanata, encouraging her to express her emotions. However, misunderstandings ensue when Kanata misinterprets Aries' words, leading to her growing frustration. Meanwhile, Luca and Olga embark on a fishing excursion, with Luca attempting to forge a connection and get Olga to open up. To Olga's shock, Luca reveals the identity of his father. As evening falls, the group gathers for a picnic, marking their last night on Arispade. Unexpectedly, Olga brandishes his gun and confronts Luca, holding him at gunpoint. In a startling revelation, Olga accuses Marco of murdering his older brother, who was investigating corruption. Driven by a thirst for revenge, Olga intends to kill Luca, believing him to be Marco's eldest son and heir. However, Luca shatters this assumption, disclosing that he is not Marco's biological heir due to being intersex and secretly adopted into the Esposito family. Olga realizes that Luca, like himself, is an outcast from his family, prompting him to stand down. Suddenly, the tranquil island is rocked by a quake, followed by a menacing tsunami. While most of the group manages to reach Astra safely, Olga and Luca are swept away by the powerful currents. In a heart-wrenching moment, Olga attempts to sacrifice himself for Luca's safety, but both are miraculously rescued by Kanata. Post-Arispade, Olga extends an apology to Luca and vows to return home alive to investigate his brother's mysterious death. Zack introduces the possibility that Olga's brother might have uncovered a more profound conspiracy, explaining why they have become targets. Inspired by his brother's quest for truth, Olga decides to become a journalist, and Kanata grants him permission to keep the gun, given his expertise in handling it. Aries engages in a revealing conversation with Charcy, where she detects an inconsistency in his story. Puzzled by the absence of Charcy in the biology class he claimed to attend, Aries confronts him, sensing that he might be harboring secrets. The group collectively addresses Charcy, suspecting that he is concealing crucial information. Succumbing to the pressure, Charcy confesses that, much like Aries, he is a transfer student who arrived after her. His reluctance to disclose this earlier stemmed from a desire to avoid discussing his painful past. He hails from the Vixia royal quarter, the sole nation on their home planet still governed by nobility. Charcy reveals that he befriended a commoner girl named Syria. In an attempt to defy the societal boundaries, Charcy smuggled her into the area reserved for nobles. Unfortunately, their secret was exposed, leading to a confrontation with a guard. In the ensuing struggle, Syria resisted and was tragically pushed off a building, falling into a coma. Eventually, Syria's family departed from Vixia, taking her with them, and Charcy followed suit, vowing to study biology to locate and heal Syria one day. Touched by the depth of Charcy's sorrowful narrative, the group empathizes with his plight. Their cosmic odyssey brings them to the next planet, Icarus, where the rotation perfectly synchronizes with its orbit, resulting in one side being scorching hot and the other frigidly cold. The only safe foraging zone lies in the region between these extremes. While searching for a suitable landing spot, Astra falls prey to a colossal carnivorous plant, causing substantial damage. Zack pragmatically points out their lack of spare parts or resources to repair the ship, forcing the group to grapple with the harsh reality that they must accept living on Icarus as their new home. Charcy leads a foraging party and stumbles upon a startling discovery: a second ship, strikingly similar to Astra, but marred by extensive damage and an air of abandonment. The group investigates, discerning signs of wear and tear, prompting Zack to make a chilling realization. Someone has been preserved in the ship's hibernation pod for the past 12 years. As they cautiously open the pod, they unveil a young woman named Paulina Levinsky. The group brings her back to Astra, where Paulina shares her harrowing tale as an astronaut from the ship Ark-6, sent on a mission to find habitable worlds. However, the Ark-6 crash landed on Icarus, and the crew never returned from their exploration, leaving Paulina to rely on the hibernation pod for survival. Ares proposes a daring plan: to swap Astra's damaged reactor section with Ark-6's intact one, given that both ships are modular and of the same type. Simultaneously, Unya informs Paulina that it is now the year 2063, triggering an unexpected panic without revealing the underlying reason. The meticulous ship repairs prove successful, and the group resumes foraging for food on Icarus. Amidst the cosmic turmoil, Zack and Kotari share a quiet moment, where Zack unveils his determination not to emulate his father, who grew cold due to memory transplant research. In turn, Kotari candidly admits her desire to marry Zack, evoking memories of their childhood promise. Before bidding farewell to Icarus, the group delves into the mystery surrounding Paulina's crew's fate. Their investigation reveals a grim truth: the crew met a tragic end, devoured by carnivorous plants hidden underground. The group finally departs from Icarus and plans a party for Paulina. Kotari notices an unlikely coincidence: her and Phoenicia's blood types are an exact match. Zack offers to perform a DNA test, revealing privately to Kanata that Kotari and Phoenicia are genetically identical. Zack and Kanata disclose the truth to the whole crew: Venezia and Kotari are clones. The crew forms a theory that they are all, except for Ares, clones, young replacements for their parents, who plan to transfer memories using technology developed by Zack's father. Meanwhile, the parents, excluding Ares and Charces, meet and lament how the Genome Control Act could expose their children as clones. This fear is why they stranded them in space to prevent their bodies from being discovered. Back on Astra, everyone is distraught by this revelation. Kanata reassures them, stating that even if their entire lives were a lie, this trip turned them into a family, giving them a reason to return and bring their parents to justice. Kanata individually checks in with the crew, finding that most have found closure regarding their family situations. Zack and Kateri decide to get married, announcing their engagement to the whole crew. Zack later restores the space telescope using parts from the Ark-6, revealing an image of their home planet. While celebrating, Paulina enters the bridge and becomes confused by the physical differences between Earth and the planet they're heading to. Paulina, reeling from the revelation that the crew has no knowledge of Earth, spirals into hysteria. The group, attempting to soothe her distress, discloses that their home planet is named Astra. A profound discussion ensues between Paulina and the crew, unraveling the uncanny parallels between Earth and Astra's histories up until the pivotal year of 1962. In Astra's timeline, the Cuban Missile Crisis triggered World War III, ultimately leading survivors to forge a unified world government. Paulina proceeds to unravel Earth's version of history, recounting that scientists on her home planet discovered an asteroid hurtling towards Earth, destined to strike in 2057. In response, Ark ships were dispatched to explore potential habitable planets, with plans for the entire population to evacuate through artificial wormholes. The realization dawns upon the group that they were transported to what remained of Earth through one of these wormholes, encountering the Ark-7, which had been left behind and unused. Paulina posits a chilling theory: Earth's population resettled on Astra but concealed their history for mysterious reasons. Despite the unsettling revelations, Ares urges the group to focus on the immediate goal of returning home. Their journey brings them to the final planet, Golem, where Kanata confronts another wormhole and narrowly escapes its clutches. A chilling revelation sparks suspicion within the group: the traitor among them might eliminate the crew on Golem and seize the last leg of the journey home. In a decisive move, Kanata takes charge and decides to confront the traitor head-on. Kanata, with strategic acumen, discerns that the traitor is Olga and confidentially approaches Zack and Charcy to orchestrate an ambush. However, the dramatic turn of events reveals that it was a ruse to coerce Charcy into exposing himself as the true traitor. Kanata unveils the truth: Charcy is, in fact, a clone named Noah Vix, fully aware of his origins from the very beginning. Charcy, now the current king of Vixia, discloses a harrowing truth about his origin. Originally intended to be Noah's spare body, Charsi was raised from birth with the singular belief that his purpose in life was to serve as No's replacement. Tasked with the mission to eliminate the other clones when the Genome Control Act passed, Charsi reveals that he hesitated, always deactivating the wormhole before it could cause harm. Kanata, skeptical of Charsi's claims, points out this inconsistency. Charsi provides further insight, explaining that he refrained from carrying out his mission because he couldn't bring himself to harm Ares, who is unveiled to be Cyrus' clone. Cyrus, No's daughter and the princess of Vixia, orchestrated a clandestine plan to save Ares from a predetermined fate. Ares was born without Syrah's knowledge, and Cyrus, unwilling to subject her to the grim destiny of the clones, arranged for Ares to be smuggled out of Vixia to live a normal life. Tragically, Syrah, who opposed the cloning project, met her demise when pushed off a cliff by an assassin. With Syrah's death, Charsi felt compelled to fulfill his mission as the only purpose left in his life. Despite Charsi's remorseful confession, Kanata remains unconvinced, emphasizing the genuine nature of their friendship and pointing out Charsi's enjoyment in interacting with everyone. The other students join in, attempting to persuade Charsi that he doesn't need to be beholden to No's wishes. Overwhelmed with guilt and despair, using a backup wormhole controller, he creates a wormhole between himself and everyone else. Kanata charges straight at the looming wormhole, leveraging his anti-gravity shoes to leap over it and intercept Charsi, compelling him to abandon his suicidal intentions. However, the wormhole draws dangerously close, resulting in the loss of Kanata's right arm above the elbow. The shock of this traumatic event jolts Charsi back to his senses, and Kanata, true to his resilient spirit, reminds him of the promise made earlier, that Charsi is to be Kanata's second-in-command on his future spaceship. One of the poignant scenes unfolds with Kanata's severed arm floating above Earth, and Koteri seeks help from Charsi to bring Kanata back to Astra. Despite the gravity of Trice's actions, Kanata and the rest of the group embrace Charsi as one of their own, convincing him to find a renewed purpose in living for himself. As they forage enough resources to depart Golem, Kanata takes a moment to rest, and Ares, expressing care and concern, tends to his wounds. In a pivotal revelation, Charsi unearths the truth about Astra and Vixia's tumultuous past. The nations of Earth devised wormhole technology to evacuate the population to Astra. However, when the plan was unveiled, chaos ensued as different nations waged war, misusing the wormholes as weapons in a desperate struggle for land. Eventually, a single world government emerged in a bid to restore peace. Half the population of Earth and Astra perished as a consequence of the conflict. The revelation of the world government's decision to destroy all wormholes to prevent their misuse, coupled with the manipulation of history to keep future generations unaware of the technology that transported them to Astra, sends shockwaves through the group. Unbeknownst to them, a century has passed since Earth's demise, and the true year is now 2163. Faced with the daunting obstacles of their originals and the powerful government, the students resolve to unveil the truth to all of Astra. Kanata orchestrates a strategic pause above Magpa, allowing the group to access Astra's communication system. Astra sends a comprehensive message detailing their entire interstellar journey, accompanied by images of the planets they visited. The missive is directed to Emma, Ares' mother, in whom the group places their trust. They instruct her to contact a police officer affiliated with Olga's brother. As they make their way back to Astra, the students are met with a fleet of warships extending a warm welcome home. The shocking news follows. Their originals have been apprehended for illegal cloning and attempted murder. The younger brother of the Vixia king is held accountable for Syrah's assassination, and the transfer of Ares to Team B5 leads to additional arrests. Upon their triumphant return, the group is catapulted into celebrity status overnight. Kanata and Charsi embark on a diplomatic mission to persuade the government to disclose the truth about Earth. Kanata, utilizing his newfound literary prowess, manages to navigate the ensuing public uproar by crafting a best-selling book recounting his riveting experiences during the interstellar journey. Meanwhile, Charsi, having ascended to the throne as the new king of Vixia, swiftly relinquishes all political power. He opens Vixia's borders and releases wormhole technology to the public, embracing a departure from the era of secrecy rooted in old Earth. The Astra finds its place in a museum, becoming a testament to the untold secrets and revelations that reshaped the course of history. 7 years later, Olga becomes a journalist, Paulina assumes a role as a teacher at Carrot High School, and Phoenicia, now in high school, charts her own path. Yunwa's concert, attended by Ares, Katari, and Luca. Ares shares that Kanata has finally proposed to her, marking the beginning of their journey into marriage. Luca embraces a more feminine style, and Kotari and Charsi flourish in successful modeling careers. Kanata, utilizing his acquired fortune, seizes the opportunity to purchase the Astra. With a new prosthetic arm designed by Zach, he, Zach, and Charsi rekindle the spirit of exploration and embark on a new cosmic adventure. When queried about his decision to join the expedition, Charsi offers a simple yet profound response: he's keeping his promise.